Pruitt. I am the CEO and owner of a social impact consulting agency called True Solutions, LLC. So with that agency, I have contracts with the Department of Labor, where most of you know me with my role in terms of the APEX Pardons and Expungements program, where we dive deep into the pardons and expungements process. I also have contracts with Wilmington Hope Commission with Senator Darius Brown, and then also the Office of Defense Services. Ultimately, the work that I do is all housed under re-entry, second chances, and just opening those doors I would once closed to folks. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
How you doing this morning? My name is Greg Brown. Sorry for something. What I do is I work with a lot of organizations such as teams, such as Center for Structural Equity. I did a lot of things with reentry, but in this capacity today, I'm just here as an individual who's been incarcerated, who want to share on some of the things that need to be done in order to make that transition a lot easier, and just really just continue the momentum of just real conversation, you know, and really try to help individuals understand a lot of the journey that people have when they are released from prison and how difficult it can be, so that we can have those, like you said earlier, difficult conversations, but hopefully they be solution-based so we can remove these barriers for individuals.
It's definitely a journey. It's definitely a journey.
Representative Frank Cook, everybody knows me as Cookie. County Police for 30 years. And I had the blessing of patrolling where I grew up in. It doesn't happen all the time to an African-American police officer. I patrolled from the Route 9 corridor from Southbridge all the way to Old Newcastle. I did it plenty of years. But I'm here today saying, working with Senator Brown and passing clean slate, where I can go across the aisle with other politicians and get it done. And it's not about I, it's about we. Working with the ACLU, working with all the different groups out there, working with ODS, working with the Attorney General's office, working with our civic associations, working with our advocates. It takes a whole family to do this, to do what we're doing. And the thing about, one thing I always say, you don't have to hide behind truth and facts, because we got bad apples and everything. That's what we really need to talk about. How bad apples stop a lot of people out. That tell them the know that Mr. Wallace was talking about. I'm gonna call him Mr. Peoples. That's that know he's talking about. So I'm here today saying that we're working hard down there. You don't get to hear about it because a lot of people don't have phones. A lot of people don't work with computers. You gotta get boots on the ground and work it out. That's for sure. So I'm here to keep things going, keep it rolling. We got more work to do. We're not stopped right here. We have more work to do. And we gotta work along as a family, working together, because it comes with family first.
My name is Wallace 267 Peoples. I've been incarcerated. I'll be 45 next year. I spent more time in cells than I did free on this planet. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Reform. I'm also the cultural advisor of YouTube. Just think about that. One of the biggest companies in the world, I'm the cultural advisor. And one of the things I love so much is that I always go to my people, the people at the bottom, and let them know how extraordinary it is and what they can be. A lot of times, a lot of our people, as we know, they forget about us. And we got a lot of people that's trying to help us, but they don't know how to help us because sometimes they're not getting the people that, like I said, affect them. You can't teach what you don't know, you can't lead where you don't go.
That's right, talk about it.
But if I'm in a room, it don't matter if I'm in a room of billionaires, I still go down the way, I still educate people, I still let the people know that, listen man, the world may have forgot about you, but I didn't. And we gotta have organizations on the ground that, you can't be an organization when you're scared of the people that you say you represent. You know what I'm saying? And one of the disheartening things that I, since I've been home, is when I found out that there was organizations representing the people that never see the people, never touch the people, never communicate with the people. They was getting grant money and all that. That blew my mind. When somebody woke me up to that, I'm like, hold up, they getting what? What section of Philly they represent? They represent my section. I don't even know them. And I ain't got no money. I'm doing this from the heart. So we need to start empowering the people from the community that's doing this as they getting paid from their passion, they getting paid from their heart. We need to figure out how can we fund the people to amplify their voices and to give them the right strength, give them the right strength and the right positioning in order to really get some change. Right. You know, because brothers like you're doing it, Brown, y'all doing it, but y'all need more help. Right. And we need to know, we need to start having some type of figured out. There need to be like a supervisor or some type of public ledger of where funding is going and where, and if that's being used for the people that they say is being used for, and not lacing nobody's pockets. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here. I'm not, and I'm gonna say this. I'm not here because I'm here on behalf of reform. But before I'm here for reform, I'm here for myself. I don't get paid to be here. You see what I'm saying? I speak all around the world. I get 50,000 for 45 minutes. I'm here for free. And on top of that, one thing that I want to do on top of that, before I leave here, my manager over here, Desiree, I need to find out who information I need to get, because I need to be going into prisons and dealing with speaking to the brothers and sisters, let them know that it's like that in prison. A lot of times you see people making you feel it in here. No. I need them to see, I need them to feel it. And I need more people to know, listen, man, there's some extraordinary people in the places that I live. Incarcerated. It ain't just one wild level. I just was put to be the messenger, and I'm a trusted servant of the people that the world forgot about, from the ghettos to the penitentiary. And I'm gonna go out there and represent them and wave the flag like, if you give people a shot, because I pay millions of taxes a year on the books. I pay millions of taxes a year, and I only been out of prison 7 years. So imagine what more people could do if they give an opportunity. I wasn't given it just so happened I took mine, but everybody ain't strong enough to do that. But if we can support people, and we give out the proper support, imagine how better our communities would be, how our economy would be. It'd be like, imagine that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't do too much rap. I'm gonna bring me to Delaware. I'm gonna help in real time and see how we create the change that's necessary, because it's a beautiful place. Why do you think everybody leave Philly and move down here? You understand me? Why do you think everybody leave Philly and move down here? You know what I mean? So we're gonna figure it out, but I believe in the day. But like I said, it can't just be today, it gotta be tomorrow, next week. Right. Y'all gotta keep getting together and keep knocking it out and keep holding people accountable that say that they represent the people that they don't even see. Right. We need to put the fire on them. All right, where that money going? What you doing? I mean, why you ain't sure? Who did you help? That's all I'm saying. I'm just being real.
Transparency in government is huge. Go ahead.
I wanted to touch base on that because a lot of people don't know me in the room, but I was adopted at the age of 4 from Jersey City, New Jersey. Both my parents were users. They were on drugs, in and out of the jail system. Shout out to my mom who adopted me, Carol.
Mom, what's up, Mom?
She brought me to Delaware. And the unfortunate thing is my siblings were not brought here. So it's like a social experiment, right? This is my reentry. I got reentry at the age of 4. I went to private school, I went to college, I was educated, I worked at the top financial firms. I can sit up here with my dusty red bottoms on and talk to you, but my brother is in jail. And he intentionally goes back to jail. He gets out and he fails parole maybe in the first 2 weeks. Life is too hard, he doesn't have the support he needs in Jersey City. So when reform just started, I don't know if you guys remember when they first started, but when they first started, they asked for stories. I don't know if you remember. So I was in the computer like, telling about my brother and how many times he's been back in jail because of parole. And beyond all that, and I thank God for Walla for sharing his story because he sounds just like my brother's, but the people in this room, I don't know if you remember, but there's something called the talented 10, right? And for some reason, when we got educated, especially as Black people, we moved on with our money and our nice clothes and our new houses in suburbia, and we lived our lives. But the talented 10th was supposed to do what? They were supposed to come back and teach what you learned and uplift your community, and we're not doing that. So my mom's mad at me, but I quit my job. And I was working on immersive research for the VR headsets. And they're using it in certain states, and it has completely transformed their recidivism in the past 2 years. VR headsets, because some people don't want to go in Ferris in Delaware to teach those kids anything, because their partners won't hire them anyway, right? Some people don't want to go in Ferris with drills or in these correctional facilities with drills because they're scared these people are going to what? Attack them. There are things we could do with the technology we have. Don't be afraid to transform it now. Don't make that the last people that see this technology. But I just want to speak on that because it was like a light circle for me.
So moving forward, this panel is to do a deep dive in the Adult Expungement Reform Act, and that's going to be Senate Bill 37, which is in the General Assembly, passed in 2019. This expands the eligibility for expungement. A process which qualifying criminal records can be wiped clean without a pardon, and in some cases, the expungement will be mandatory, while in other expungements, it is at the discretion of the courts. We have about 20 minutes to review. It'll be 2 comments per person here. Okay. So moving forward, sorry, but I have to put limitations up here. Moving forward here.
You want me to comment on that particular topic?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I would not want to just continue on without even addressing what you said. I'm sorry. We're here, we have the platform, we might as well also speak.
Talk,
So,
sister.
just please apologize and just bear with me as well. But that level of support that you said is needed, that is so crucial here, especially in Delaware. So I'll start with the pros, if I can do that, right? So I've been in this lane for the last, 11 years. For 11 years, I've been in this lane. When I say in this lane in regards to barrier reductions, right? Helping those that have a Delaware state qualifying record, helping them go through the pardon process and the expungement process, right? Years ago, there was no real programming that existed that could assist someone who had a past record to remove those barriers, right? Before maybe they thought they had to pay an attorney thousands of dollars to go through this process, or they didn't know that the process or the resource even existed, right? So the information is key. But even when we first started, there was only 2 program coordinators. I'm running all of Newcastle County. It's housed under the Department of Labor. We have our Secretary Hubbard who's here in support. And then we have a colleague downstate that runs Kent and Sussex. So Delaware being a small state, yes, right, there's still a lot that needs to be done here. So imagine just the amount of support that we needed with the volume still, right? So doing this, we have the Department of Labor that's providing the service now. I've noticed the lane that I've been in, it's expanded, right? You know, we all have this niche, we all have this expertise, but it's expanded, and I'm really, truly grateful to see how much we've been able to grow. Even with the support of various Senator Brown, with Women's and Hope Commission, even our Public Defender's Office, also currently known as the Office of Defense Services, they have the support as it relates to post-disposition for those that even as you're re-entering into the service, into the world, you can receive the support. So it's there, but we need more, right? We need more, and I would just hope and pray that even after these type of events, that you're privy to it and now you can take advantage of it too. So, but with pardons and expungements, there is a big difference. So with the legislation being passed in 2019, it expanded the criteria for those that are eligible for whether it be a pardon or an expungement. There are a lot of exclusions that come to this, but in most cases, right, if you have multiple convictions, you still would have to go through the governor's pardon process. You have to go in front of the board, lieutenant governor who chairs the board. And I had my numbers last night. I was like, let me be prepared in case someone brings that up. And I know I'm probably going over commenting, so just again, bear with me. Just so you can have a view of just the success rates that we have here in Delaware, right? So going through the pardon process, like I said, just a general rule of thumb, if someone has multiple convictions, still having to go through the pardon process, the governor having to grant the pardon, and then in most cases being eligible for a discretionary expungement, right? With the Adult Expungement Act being passed a couple of years back, like I said, it expanded it. So now in some cases, you can bypass the pardon process, right? And it depends on like the severity of the offenses, it depends on how many it is. but in some cases, we can pursue directly to the courts, where we can petition to Superior Court. We wait for the courts and the AG's office to make a decision, and then that way, that it's a bit more streamlined. And then even with the mandatory expungement process, which has been amazing, I have so many clients where perhaps you still have convictions, you still have to go through the pardon process for those convictions, but now under these new laws, we can at least even get a portion of the record expunged through mandatory expungement, and that's a big deal in itself.
That's great. So what is the requirement for skipping through that process?
So that's where the exclusions come into place, right? So there's a few different scenarios where one could be eligible for discretionary expungement or even the mandatory expungement. So let's maybe just stop with mandatory expungement. So mandatory expungement is applicable to those non-convicted cases. So how many times have you heard of someone getting in the system, right? The disposition, maybe you were charged, you were arrested, you were charged. Not everyone realizes that, hey, even if I was arrested, the case was dismissed, oh, I'm good to go. No, it's still visible on the record, right? It's still, the powers that can be, they still see and have access to the record. So those dispositions where maybe you see the term nully prosecuted or a dismissal, you may have completed like a PBJ or probation before judgment, some type of like first-time offenders program or diversion program, just a non-conviction, just get that in your head. Those type of offenses are eligible for the mandatory expungement process. And then how that stands now is, it's still as in comparison to pardons or even discretionary expungements, it's very streamlined, right? It's literally a one-page application. It is a $75 filing fee. If you're connected with the right agencies, such as ours, we can even help cover the cost. So while even when you said with that support, the funding is crucial, because one of the biggest barriers for someone trying to clear their record was, oh, I can't afford
I don't
this.
even have the $75.
I don't have the $75. I don't have the $72 to get the fingerprints, right? So the beautiful thing, especially here in Delaware, our agencies are able to help cover those costs. And I'm always the biggest advocate to say to my clients here, the budget is here. I'm going to spend this on you because I trust in you. You know what I mean? I have that faith, and let's get through it. So mandatory, again, is those non-convicted cases, just to answer your question originally. And then for discretionary expungement, right? So that's where it's the discretion of the presiding judge or commissioner to approve the official expungement order, right? So we send off the petition, the AG's office has to say, they have to give a response, they have 120 days, and then the Superior Court presiding judge will make the final decision, right? So with those type of offenses, either your record has to be fully pardoned by the governor for you to even be legally eligible to petition for this discretionary expungement, or now under the new Expungement Act, and please, my attorneys, do not get happy. So I'm not gonna get too much into it, but there are certain offenses where if it's a non-violent felony, that's a big one too, because in Delaware, they never expunge felonies, right? So under this new Expungement Act, certain non-violent felonies are currently eligible for expungement. So say you have one non-violent felony and at least 7 years have gone by, the state could deem you eligible for discretionary expungement. If you have multiple misdemeanor convictions, like minor misdemeanor convictions that are not on our exclusion list, you could also be eligible for discretionary expungement. And I'm saying even bypassing the pardon process. Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense, and thank you. So I'm glad that you're being descriptive for the people that are home, that are zooming in and watching. Also, this is going to be recorded, so people are going to say, hey, did
Yes.
you hear this? There was a great panel of discussion about this and about how to do it. So thank you to everyone up here for being descriptive. Mr. Brown, I'm very interested in knowing your thoughts on this.
First of all, I want to say, because I actually have worked with Ms. Tomlin, and I want to say that I am really proud of all the work that you've done. A lot of the things that you spoke about today, I've seen you in action, and I've seen some of the individuals that you helped, and I can actually say that you have gone above and beyond to help them with that transition. And I'm sorry, sis, I don't know exactly the work that you actually do. So I'm sorry about that. But let me tell y'all something, and I'm just gonna be real with y'all because this is how we established the talking points today.
That's it, man, that's it.
I didn't know that I was gonna be here today. So I don't really have a lot of talking points. So when I'm in these situations, I have to go from the heart and I have to be real. So it's it would be a disjustice if I didn't speak from that place. when I look at removing barriers, although, you know, I can highlight, like I said, with Ms. Dominique, the work that's been done. In the past, a lot of people who know me, and I see some people in the audience who do, know that I was really entrenched in the reentry, you know, industry. Everywhere you will go, you will see Granville Brown in the prison, I'm over here, in the courts, and different things of that nature. But I took a step back because I really felt like, and this is going to piggyback on what you were saying, Wallow, earlier. It was a position that DOC had, Director of Reentry Services. And I said, yeah, Granville, you've been doing all this work, you've been home from jail, you did 11 and a half years, you ain't did no convictions, different things of that nature. Everywhere I go, people want to do photo ops with me, different things of that nature. You looked at it as a redemptive story, but I applied and they said, no. Because you had a felony at one time and you was incarcerated. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, who would be the best person to be a director of reentry services for people inside the prisons than the person that you did jail with, did time with inside the prisons, and see that he turned the plan? And look at that motivation. Dad, man, I can do it, man, because Sadiq did it. Yeah. I remember when I used to come into prisons, man, and brothers used to be like, they'll go, hey, listen, man, I see you in the paper, man, and it gave them hope. And we all know with the statistics and different things of that nature, we all know how hope empowers individuals. And I went to federal probation and parole, and it's a saying on the wall that you no longer make decisions like you have nothing to lose when you give people something to lose. So it's like, hey man, like I'm trying to be that motivation to show individuals, like, yo, you can do it, man, you can do it, KO. Because I did, you already see me. And they said no. And let me just say this real quick, and I ain't gonna just be patient with me, because I said we're gonna keep it real today. In my mind, if I wasn't strong-minded, then those are the traditional things that'll make you go back.
That's right.
Because what you did was you bust 14 shots in my hole right there. And I'm saying when you have these individuals that's in these positions that you are celebrating, we gotta get past the celebration point. Like we were saying today, the theme today been like, yo, I hope that it go on not today, but tomorrow, the next year. It really, really gotta be that way, because I've been in these rooms and it wasn't like that. I'm trying to tell you. Everybody said all the right things on the microphone. And then I followed up with those individuals. And they said, you know what, Brand, man, we got you. I love all the work that you're doing, man, but not right now. And like you said, not right now, I'll kill you though. Not right now to have you back on the block. So like I'm saying, when we talking about removing barriers, and I don't want to knock anything and all the work that individuals been doing, like I said, Dominique, you've been going hard, you've been in the trenches. I don't want to knock none of that. But at some point in time, we got to move the needle, and you can't be good enough to be right here, but you're not good enough to be here. You can't do that. If you really believe it, if you say that Granville or whoever these individuals are really these individuals that you're talking about they are, then okay then, move the needle. Put some real faith in them. And open that door up. Yeah. So, it would just been, it just would have been a disjustice if I didn't keep it real like that today. I'm sorry. Hold on.
You gotta put your jersey back on. You gotta get back in the field. You know why? You did that from the heart when you was doing it. It wasn't about no position, it wasn't about no title. It was from the heart, but you just was mad that they disrespect all the blood, sweat, and tears that you put on the ground for the people that you love. But you can't give up on us, because they said something. Like, you gotta think about that, bro. And I understand the know it's painful, but who else we trust? Remember what I said, you can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead when you don't go. They're not gonna talk to these people that we don't know, that's magically got these positions based off of what? So even though we do things, and sometimes it might be a no, but sometimes that no might mean next opportunity, Sometimes it might not be the time. So you gotta sit back and look at the field and say, okay, I'm gonna go this route. Because what you do and the feeling that you give other people, you see the brother came in, you go to the jail, they're like, damn, bro, I see you. You can't manufacture that. You can't buy that. And that's something that's a personal connection that you have with the people that been through what you've been through. But if you give up, when you give up, you ain't giving up on you giving up on us. And a lot of times, we gotta sacrifice our ego and our pride for the greater cause. You talk about the people, listen, everybody that did something for us since the history of life, when we was over there with building pyramids with no cranes, when Harriet did that, she wasn't thinking about that. Harriet wasn't thinking, oh, what if I get killed? But Harriet said, I'm moving out. Rosa said, I'm moving out. And it wasn't about, it gotta be a point with us where it's though, it gotta be bigger than us. And if we really about us, we gotta realize that us is not bigger than us. And when we start looking at us, and I know it's painful, because you know they be playing sometimes, but they be playing to see if you really about what you say you're about. But you can't let them finesse you out of the love that you got for the people on the bottom. And like I said, you can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead where you don't go. You teaching what you know, and you lead where you go. So you gotta put your uniform, you gotta put your jersey back on, bro. Do y'all think he need to put his jersey back on? I got fun. I'll put it in the closet. Hey, they can get your big one on, you know, whatever. It's so one of the people that not so, I tell her, they hook you up.
So before we get into Q&A, Representative Cook, would you like to add to this at all?
Well, you know, in my district we have 63 churches. Big egos rolling. They can't even get it together. I'm gonna be truthful. Since we're gonna roll up some sleeves, that's what we need to roll up. We'll talk real, let's talk real. I have met on Cash Ave. Everybody, I know people here know what Cash Ave is. Newcastle Avenue, Cash Ave. And there's brothers out there I had that I was chasing. He owns a retail right on Cash Ave right now, Eugene Young. He went through the system. He didn't take that now, kept on moving. Now he's teaching other brothers to do that. I'm gonna be real with you. I tell the brothers all the time, we need you to step up. Thank you, ladies, thank you. But we need brothers to step up. When I go places, I see people from Chicago in gang wars. When you're talking about, I'm gonna call it like I see it, when I don't get the numbers aren't everything. Black on black crime, we have 600 people, 690 people in Chicago killing each other. We gotta step up. We gotta get rid of all the bad apples. Because we have them in everything we do, including police officers. I'm one of them, sitting right here to tell you, including police officers. Because this is where it starts. Because when I was on the street, I took you home to your mama or your grandma, or your father. That's what I used to do. And gain the respect, because you have to respect folks. That's where it starts. You respect me, I respect you. Like Brother Miles is saying, we gotta stop saying no. My RD chair, my previous RD chair, he had been incarcerated. He had been through the system. He was the chair of my district. He passed away last month. J1 Saunders. I told him yes, but my background, no. I'm gonna send you to Dominique. But don't go there and stop at the corner and then turn around. Go to Dominique and get the work done. When I call Dominique, I get it done. We get it done. Not I, but we. And it takes everybody. But I know that it takes a lot of work. When Darius introduced me to the Clean Slate Act, I'm gonna get it through the House. Senate Bill 111 and 112. Very important. Now I'm running into a small barrier right now where I have DTI and SPI, which you gotta go through, get your prints done and get things finished. And making sure we have the money to make sure people can get it, because everybody can't afford $72. Or other expenses. I've been down to Gander Hill or Howard Young, Doug is here, right here, right? Doug, stand up for a second. Talking about re-entry. I've been down there sitting in the van. Where those are getting out, when the gate opens, he's telling me what time the gate's gonna open up, let them out. And I see brothers just walk right on by. You gotta stop there, and like you said, Brother Wallace, you gotta go there and get your things done before you get out. DOC is in the house right now. We have to dialogue and get at the table and say, hey, make sure they have their license. Make sure they get their education. Make sure they get all their certifications. Because college is not for everybody. There's people incarcerated that have skills. Do you know we got one of the best furniture repairs in the state is at DOC? Right down at home. And this guy's down there working. And when they come out, Cook, I need a job. I need to know what I'm doing. Working with the labor. With Miss Hubbard in the back. We got to continue that work. But I know we need everybody in this room. When you say, we have people in my district is diverse, it is, because I've had not only Latino come to me, and poor Caucasians come to me, saying that I need some stuff, and also my brothers and sisters need things done, to get things done, to get the jobs. You gotta get a tweet card to go down Longshore. Making decent pay. There's people that can't get it, but we gotta make sure they can get those tweet cards to make sure they can keep on working and getting decent money. Because right now, apartments and getting housing is out of control. We be here another hour talking about that. Yeah. And the discrimination that they use against folks. First thing they want to look at, or Google, you need to talk about that. It's the employers and colleges Google you now. When you fill out that application, let me Google them. Oh no, look, they done did something. It's in the newspaper from when they were 12 years old, 11 years old. And they use it against them. They say they can't come to this college. They can't get this job. Can't do that. We as people here, as legislators, we have work to do. We are the voice of the voiceless. And we have to keep on keeping on and working for everybody.
Representative Cook, let's hear a little bit from the voices in the audience in our Q&A section.
One moment, before we move forward, can I say one thing? I want to give a shout out. I need y'all to make some noise for EJ and the advocacy team at Reform for making this thing happen. Could y'all make some noise for them? Reform has shown up. Reform has shown up for Delaware. Before it will continue to show up for Delaware. We're here with your family. We're going to make it happen. And before you go, I got to do one simple thing. If you've never been arrested in your life, could you raise your hand? You've never been arrested. Matter of fact, could you stand up if you've never been arrested? Please, just stand up. If you've never been arrested in your life, stand up. Now, I got one more question. One more question. These are all the people in here that never been arrested in your life. If you've never been arrested in your life, y'all standing up. But for everybody that never been arrested, have you ever did something that you could have got arrested for? Yes. Okay, so y'all all did something y'all could have got arrested for, didn't get arrested. So could y'all sit down now?
I say that to my clients all the time.
Now. So we got we got some more convicted felons in here. Some imaginary convicted felons. So just think about what you done, you got away with, and how the opportunities you had just because you got away from it. Yes. Thinking about second chances. That's the reality.
That's real.
Yeah. All these unidentified fellas in here. Look at me. I'm just saying.
Think about what I did today and yesterday. Glad nobody saw that. So for our Q&A section, you see folks roaming around.
I'm not roaming, I'm right here.
Okay, right there. So if you have a question for the panel, please raise your hand.
Oh, that's great, I'm so happy you're blue. Listen, I think we have two. Are we going two? Time for two?
Two questions, yes.
Okay, so if you could. Wallow, what's happening?
What's happening?
Listen, wow, I've been following you for a minute now.
Uh-huh.
I just want to let you know love and respect. All right? And that's, right now I'm representing this house. It's an organization that helped me